Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady, so sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Defeating a Karen with Why-olence. The background. My grandmother had an emergency, which was easy to fix. New rechargeable batteries for the phone. Now, I work as an electrician for a small company on the other side of town, and decided to save gas and time. So, I went to a larger tech store about 5 minutes from where my grandma lives, still in work clothes, no uniform, no logo, no name tag. The store uniform is a black and red shirt with logos and the store name on the back, the sleeves and the front. I was looking at rechargeable batteries, trying to remember if my grandma needed AAs or AAAs. That's when I heard the words that caused so many nightmares. Excuse me, are you done standing around? I need you to find me X, Y, and Z. I just looked at her for a second, ready to blow up after 10 hours of entitled clients, when it hit me. My niece just discovered the word why. It's frustrating. It's perfect. So, I put my goofiest smile on and the following conversation ensued. Why? Because it's your job. Why? Because you work here. Why? Karen, now yelling and getting red, you wear work clothes. You work here. You have to help me. Why? Stop this BS or I will get you fired. Why? Now, at this point, an actual employee came into the aisle to see what the yelling was about. Her face said nope, and she left. I continued my act of why-olence with my goofy smile, when the employee came back with the manager. Ma'am, I have to ask you to stop yelling. It's disturbing other customers. Took you long enough. I want this moron fired, or at least written up for how he treated me. He doesn't work here. He doesn't even wear a uniform. Why would you think he does work here? Now, you either apologize to him or leave the store. Why do I have to apologize? He never said that he doesn't work here. Why would I? Karen screaming again. You are all morons. I will call corporate about this. With that, she stormed off, but I couldn't help myself. Why? After that, the manager apologized and bought the batteries for my grandmother. No cops, no coupons, just a fun story. There is so much we can learn from the little kids. That's actually amazing. I like this guy for creating why-olence. Confused for an employee 5 times in 3 different stores. Last week, I, a 26-year-old male, went furniture shopping to fill up my new apartment, and was looking for very specific things. So, I drove around to a bunch of different stores. In the first store I went to, I had the first incident. I was talking on the phone when I feel a tap on my shoulder, and turned around to see a little old lady asking me nicely if we had the sideboard she was looking at in different wood colors. I just responded slightly confused that I did not work there and had no idea, but pointed out that I saw an employee walking past here a few minutes ago, and sent her in that direction. Nothing too crazy, I just figured she saw me talking about the displayed furniture on the phone and figured I worked there. 10 minutes later, I was still in the same section, not being able to settle on anything and already on my way out, when I hear someone clearing their throat behind me. I've read a lot of stories on this subreddit and I was already confused for an employee once, so I kinda knew what was coming. I turned around, was promptly asked by a less polite middle-aged woman where a certain section was, and I truthfully replied that I had no clue and just walked away. Now, I wasn't wearing something flashy, only a plain black t-shirt and blue jeans, and the employees at the first store wear very flashy polo shirts, in pink, green and yellow with the company's name in large letters on the front and back. So I have no idea where they got the idea from. Since I had still not found what I wanted, I made my next stop a very famous furniture store with a blue and yellow color scheme. Again, you'd think with a black shirt I don't fit into the expected mold of an employee there. Not to make a long story longer, I was confused with an employee there again, twice. At this point, I wondered if I was actually wearing something I wasn't aware of, or if me walking around with my phone in hand, comparing prices and pictures, looked like I was doing inventory. After disappointingly finding nothing I liked, I made my way to a third store. That store didn't have a uniform. The only thing giving away the employees were name tags clipped to their chest. At this point, I want to stress that I did not wear a name tag, because apparently that wasn't obvious, as after 10 minutes in the store, I was cornered by a slightly older couple and told to order them some furniture to have delivered. I did not even get a word in and couldn't tell them I did not work there before they had shoved the order form in my face. I finally got a word in, said I didn't work there, and tried to give them their form back, because I literally couldn't do anything with it. They refused to take it back, told me I clearly worked there because I was inspecting the furniture so closely. Doesn't everybody closely look at furniture they want to buy? And to go put their order in the system. I just blankly stared at them, dropped their form on the floor, and walked away. I honestly have no idea what it was about that day. I have been confused for an employee a few times before, but at least those people realized their mistake rather quickly. But 5 times in one day? That was just weird. I'm starting to think this guy might actually work at these stores and he just forgot or something. But you're the employee. I live in a small college town that's predominantly white. Always described it as a big city with a small town feel. The amount of international students in and out of the city really has helped the community grow, and many grocery stores have started stocking an international aisle. The international aisles are still somewhat lacking, but are great for a knockoff meal, or for someone to dip their toes into Asian cooking. I'm Chinese Vietnamese with a huge cooking background. My family's get-togethers have always revolved around food, and my dad, former American Chinese chef, spends hours or even days cooking each meal. Needless to say, I know my food. I was in town for a busy week and stopped by the local Wally World for some instant ramen. Quick, cheap, and easy to spice up. As I looked at the choices for noodles, I was on the phone discussing the prices with my parents. "Excuse me, miss, do you know where the chow mein noodles are?" An older male voice approaches me. As I look up, I see a white-haired elderly man in a yellow employee vest. I had been in a service-type role the whole summer, and my work brain kicked into gear. This city has never stocked actual chow mein noodles. Crispy fried chow mein, Shanghai noodles, dried thick chow mein noodles. I saw some dehydrated chow mein for cooking beside the ramen during my earlier search, and pointed out where it was. The employee had been helping an elderly woman who wanted to try and make an Asian-style salad with fried chow mein. This became apparent as they continued with the list. What about the sesame oil? And it asks for rice wine vinegar. Where can I find that? The employee couldn't decide whether they had it in the vinegar aisle. I gave her the alternative of using apple cider or white vinegar. I had to correct myself with the chow mein noodles after finding out she wanted a salad, and located the fried noodles for her, chasing her down after she had thanked me and walked away. You know, they should hire you. Ma'am, I wish. I hope her salad turned out well. This person wishes they had a job at Wally World. Isn't it like really easy to get a job there? I've no idea if it is, but I'm pretty sure they could probably get one quite easily. I have a resting retail face, I guess. I worked at a popular craft store chain for about a year, and dealt with plenty of nice people, as well as plenty of morons. But since I stopped working there, I've been mistaken for an employee at many places a lot more often. I think part of it has to do with the fact that I might spend a while looking at a few different options for any given product, to see what's best for the price. As I know many people, after buying an item once, will get the same thing every subsequent time they need to buy it. I don't know, I like to really know my options. I also put things back where I found them, rather than leave them on a random shelf or on the floor. Now, that's important, because showing a tiny bit of respect for the hard work people who restock do must mean I work there. So I'm at a store I'll refer to as Damily Fuller. Sells a bit of everything at very cheap prices, perfect for me, a college student. And an older gentleman comes up to me and asks if there is any more X item in the back. I try to be very polite, but I was a bit caught off guard, so I just say, "I'm sorry, I wouldn't know." He just responds with, "Okay," and leaves. I glance over and see that he's going back to who I assume was his wife. I guess he told her what I said and she was not pleased, because she shot me the dirtiest look. I had a can of SpaghettiOs in my basket, but I realized they weren't the normal kind, so I put them back. So, the saggy witch comes over and says to me, "So, how is it that you're restocking, but you don't know if you have any more of this item?" I was really confused and got really anxious because some random woman was upset with me and I didn't know what to do. I had a stutter that usually isn't a problem for me anymore, but when I'm nervous, it kind of comes out. So what I said kind of came out like, I'm not a restock. I'm not restocking. She responded by mocking my stutter like, I'm not restocking. The husband spoke up and was like, "Honey, I don't think he works here." But she got really defensive and insisted I did, and that I just didn't want to look in the back for them. She said some dumb BS like, "I know how the employees here are, they're lazy jerks. You don't want to promote that image, do you?" I felt really sick from this encounter this far, and I hate to admit it, but I started crying a little. The husband got really upset at his wife and was telling her to drop it. Finally, he asked me, "Buddy, do you even work here?" And I shook my head no, and he shouted, "Come on, Mel, really?" Very aggravated at his wife. They finally left me alone, and I called my mum to tell her what happened, so I could at least try to laugh about it. And they were all out of the regular SpaghettiOs, but it's okay. PB&J will suffice. I really hope he divorces her, like, that sounds like such a toxic relationship. Recent experience made me laugh so hard. I, a 29-year-old female, was at a grocery store doing some heavy-duty food shopping. My cart was pretty full when this happened. My grocery store has had handy-dandy scanners that you can walk around with to make checkout easier. I was fiddling with it when a guy about my age came up to me. "Do you work here? Can you help me?" "I don't work here, sorry." The guy looks at my packed cart. "You look like a mum. Maybe you can help me then. Where are the..." Looks at the ripped paper in his hand. "Oreos and funnel cake mix." I couldn't help myself. I burst out laughing. Number one, I am as far away from a mother as anyone could be. I can't stand children. Number two, my cart tipped him off that I was a mum. I was bulking up because my brother just moved in with me and my boyfriend. And number three, he was asking about Oreos and a funnel cake off of a ripped piece of paper. Me, still laughing, the Oreos are 2 aisles over that way, and the funnel cake mix is in the baking aisle, next one after that. "Hey, thanks, have a good night." Can someone tell me what funnel cake is? I've literally never heard of that in my life. But you've got to appreciate the wholesome ones every once in a while. Because cleaning up after yourself is so hard. This happened about 10 years ago, but I still remember it even though it wasn't some spectacular I Don't Work Here Lady event. Still fits the sub, and is annoying enough to post. I was browsing a gift shop and came into the same aisle as some other woman. She turns around and knocks some mugs off the shelf with her massive purse. Thankfully, none of them broke, but she still looks around guiltily before she spots me giving her a look. "Do you work here?" "No." Then she just walks off without cleaning up after herself. I shoot her a glare and pick them up myself because my retail instincts kicked in, and it didn't take any effort to be a decent person. What an awful person. Like, it takes like 2 seconds to pick them up. It's like those people that just throw their litter on the ground instead of walking to a bin. Like, why? Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.